Today we talk with a power punching legend. This guy is kind of like the urban legend, kind of like a Friday the 13th, Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, scary punching power, the Hawk, Julian Jackson. Any boxing fan knows this guy, and we're super excited to talk to him. He was a huge fixture in both me and Jeremy's as kids watching boxing, so we're super excited. Let's get into this.
There he is.
Julian,
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is Julian Jackson.
how you doing, man?
Julian,
How you
what's
doing?
up, brother? Pleasure to see you, man. I haven't seen you in years.
Awesome, man. Good to see you guys too.
Yeah, we
So you still in Jamaica? Where you at? Virgin Islands? Where you at?
I'm in the Virgin Islands.
yeah.
St. Thomas?
Yes, St. Thomas, U.S.
Oh.
Virgin Islands.
That's where Jeremy's fighting.
Beautiful. I'll be there pretty soon.
He's fighting James
I'm,
Toney.
fighting,
and,
I'm doing an exhibition with James Toney in St. Thomas in October.
Oh, okay.
the
Wow,
universe-
with that's the celebrity.
yes,
Yes.
Awesome.
the University of the Virgin Island. Is that
Virgin Islands, yes.
Yeah, that's where they're doing it. Is that like a stadium there?
Yes, there's a beautiful stadium there.
Hmm. We had the pleasure of interviewing your son a few weeks ago. Great dude and a great chef, we hear as well.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely, man.
What do you push more, the cooking or the boxing? If you had
Well, you know what? As a Virgin Islander, we love to eat, man. We love seafood, and I love to cook myself. And I believe that when Julius decided that he wants to try cooking, he was getting ready for the Olympics. You know what I'm saying? And I told him, man, you can make this thing happen. You can get your degree and still make it to the Olympics. And believe it or not, he did it, man. And
how
it took a
beautiful
lot of
is that?
sacrifice, but he did it.
Wow. I mean, he had, I think he said 39 amateur fights. Now I read somewhere, you tell me if I'm wrong, you only had 17 fight amateur. Is that true?
17.
Woo!
Wow.
That is crazy how good you guys both were, especially you, obviously, because you had, with that few amateur fights. So at what point did you start seeing that knockout power? Was it as an amateur?
Well, yes, my trainer was a very good trainer. Most of my experience came from, training from the gym, sparring with, guys that were professional. I was an amateur, but I was sparring with the professionals, and that helped me a whole lot. And my trainer always said to me, he said, Julian, you don't have to hit hard. You don't have to crank up to try to hit hard. You naturally just hit hard. And all I want you to do is to flow with the punches. All I want you to do is to use your body, okay, with the punches. And eventually everything is going to fall in place. And believe me, it sure did.
Yes, it did.
It's funny.
Yes, it did.
It's funny you say that because I was watching some of your fights, right? And you really would turn every ounce of your body. I mean, to where everything would just
Right.
energy would boom. Is that what you think? That was the power you think?
Oh, definitely. You can develop power. You're born with it. I was born with it, and my coach, I think, just helped me to even improve it. And a lot of fighters today, you have fighters that are very quick, very fast, but no power. Because I believe that they're not using. I think their body behind the punches. And it's split seconds. Reaction, and you can literally hit with your. If you're 154 pounds, okay, you can deliver a punch, okay, that can actually I believe, stand up with some of the heavyweights. Okay,
54?
according to how you throw the punch, according to how you learn the science of punching.
Wow.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. But was it a huge jump from the welterweight to the middleweight?
Yeah, I went to the welterweight, middleweight, and then I was junior middleweight. Then I went to the middleweight. I was welterweight, junior middleweight, and middleweight.
Yeah.
Did you feel the power difference between the weight divisions?
I'll be honest with you. I carried it with me. I was a natural welterweight, and moving up into the junior middleweight, I was much stronger then, and I started to really sit down more on my punches. And, after that, I wanted to get an opportunity to fight the best in the world. So I was told that you might be able to do that in the middleweight division. So I went up to the middleweight and I started, I took, that technique, it's a natural thing too when it comes to punching. But there was a technique that I had to keep with me, and it stayed with me because of the delivery that I believe, I was using with my punches, turning my hips, I would put my shoulders, my hip, my thighs, my knees, my ankles, even my toenail into the punch.
There you go, man. But
everything will be in that punch.
With 61 professional fights, dude, that is a beautiful career. And to only have, was that 6 losses? Is that 6 or 8?
Well, you also won championships, if I'm not mistaken, super welter and middleweight, right?
Yeah, in two-weight division, yes. I won the WBA and the WBC.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Middleweight, and I won the middleweight twice.
Yeah, I see it. But just so that people know what we're talking about, welter is 47.
Yeah, welterweight is 147.
And another one at 60, right?
No, and welterweight is 147, and junior middleweight is 100.
Oh, junior middleweight. Okay.
Right.
Yes.
And you are 5'11", or were you 6 feet?
I'm 5'11". Yes.
5'11". So you were and people don't understand. Back in those days, that was very tall for a welterweight, right?
Yes, back then, yes, you can say that. Yes, that's the truth.
That was very.
A lot of people look at me as being a big junior middleweight.
Did you have
big welterweight? Yeah.
Did you have problems making the weight back then, or was that natural for you?
It was natural. Up to now, people say, "Man, you look like you could go in the ring right now. You look like you're in shape." My metabolism is amazing, and I think God blessed me with this gift, and I stay in the gym. I work hard, with my athletes, and I'm a coach right now, and I'm trying to, give them that gift of the punching and using their body behind the punches.
So speaking of that, of saying you're in shape right now, what do you think about the fighters coming back like Roy Jones, Tyson? And if you were approached, and maybe you have been already, would you do that? Fight
yeah, man, I would love to. You know what? I always wanted an opportunity to fight Sugar Ray Leonard.
Ooh.
Never got it. Well, I'll be honest with you. I was right there at the tip because he would have fight the winner of me and Terry Norris. And
you beat Norris.
I beat Terry Norris, but yet he refused to fight me, and he fought Terry Norris and still lost.
Oh man!
So up to this day, I said, man, Ray, let's get it on, man. I would love the opportunity just to get in the ring with you. You are one of my favorite fighters, and come on, let's do 8 rounds. If Mike Tyson could do it, we can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say in your career was your most satisfying, your most gratifying victory?
When I moved up in the middleweight division, and I fought in Quebec. No, not in Quebec. I fought Harold Graham.
Okay.
Harold Graham, where we fought in Spain. Spain, I think it was in Maribel, Spain. Yeah.
Why that
And
one?
he was a very awkward fighter. He was a southpaw, and he was a strong lefty. And man, he came out and he was really difficult to read. But I realized that he felt that he had me, and that was the opportunity for me to catch him coming in. And I switched to my southpaw. I fight southpaw too. A lot of people don't know that, but I switched southpaw, and he came in for the kill, and he opened up, and I was able to catch him the right hook, and that was the end of it.
Wow.
And I became the middleweight champion, WBC.
I was saying, well, what about that Mike McCollum fight? That was a war.
That fight made me, man. I lost against Mike McCollum, but that fight made me.
What do you mean by it made you?
In other words, I was undefeated at that time.
It was your first loss, yeah?
That was my first loss. It was my first shot for the world title. And I went in there. The entire country was backing me 100%. And I went in there and I lost. And you know what? It really affected me to a point where I wanted to, stay. I just didn't want to come back home because I felt that I laid down. I actually disappointed everybody, my family, the government, the friends, and and somebody told me, said, listen, your friends might turn their back on you. The government might not accept you. Your family as well might not accept you. But there's one person that will never turn their back on you, and that's God. And when they said that, that changed my life. And that's why today I'm a Christian, and I'm serving God from that time up to now. And I tell you what, it's amazing. My life literally turned for the better. You know what I'm saying? And after that, I had the opportunity again to fight for the Mike McCollum belt. As a matter of fact, Mike McCollum gave up the belt because he didn't want the rematch. Okay, and he decided that he was going to go up to a higher weight class, and I was able to fight in Quebec from Korea.
Yeah,
number one fighter, and
yeah,
I was able to revenge that fight, and I won in the third round by knockout.
So you said that people told you everybody might turn their back on you. What actually did when you lost that fight? Because a lot of people don't realize what the fighter goes through, especially somebody like you who was knocking everybody out, right?
Right.
And then how did you feel? And I know it's a dumb question. Obviously, you didn't feel good, but how did you feel after that first loss? Like, did it affect you?
Yeah, it can affect you in different ways, according to where your mind is and where you at, as a person. And I was really hurt because I went into the fight knowing that I was going to win. I had a lot of pride. And after being such a success and undefeated, and there was no way in the world that I was supposed to lose that fight, and the loss came. And you know what? I realized something. Okay, sometimes a lot of us, are afraid to go out and take a risk. You know what I'm saying? Take a chance. And I went out there and I was fighting. I knew Mike McCollum. I'll tell you what, we studied him, we looked at him. He was a tremendous fighter. But you know what? I decided that I was going to give it my all. And I went in there with a heart, knowing that I was going to win this fight. And when I lost, it affected me to a degree, that I literally did not want to see anyone. I didn't want to come back home. I felt that everybody would have turned away from me because of my arrogance, because I was so, I think I had a mentality that ain't no way that Mike McCollum can beat me. And that really allowed me to open up to actually losing something that was very, very dear to me. I wanted to be the world champion, and I had the opportunity. It did not happen, but right, it showed me that, look, you can dust yourself off, you can get back, you know, and try this thing again. Don't give up, you know, don't throw the towel in. You know, even though I was knocked down, even though I was affected, you know, and I really felt that I could have continued, but you know, the referee, you know, I think, you know, used his experience and felt that I was hurt to that point. You know, I got some low blow, I got a thumb in my eye. You know what I'm saying? No excuses, but you know what? I realized, you know, the fact that I went out there and I did my best, that mattered.
Wow.
That mattered more than anything else. And a lot of stuff was coming in my head and say, man, you're a loser, you're a loser. But he said, but you know, I said, you know what? At least I tried. There's some people are afraid to try because they believe if they fail, they will be of no good. But that's not true. You know, you've got to go out there and give it your best. Even if you fail, at least you know you tried.
Wow.
You still trying. I get.
You know what I'm saying?
I
There's some
understand
people
that.
out there that are afraid to go out there. They're afraid to fail, so they don't try.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They don't give it. They don't give themselves the opportunity. But I gave myself the opportunity, and I realized that, hey, you know what? That's what it really takes. You know, for a champion, you know, to dust himself off and to get back. And I came back, man. Thank God for that.
What do you think it was about Mccollum that gave you problems? Because, you know, on paper, you were a better fighter all around.
Mike Mccollum, yes. Mike Mccollum, okay, is a body snatcher, man. They call him the body snatcher. But I'll tell you what, Lou Duva, okay, was his coach, his you know, main corner man.
Yeah.
And Lou Duva will throw the sink at you. Okay? Lou Duva, no, it's known for that. He's known for that. As a matter of fact, my corner, you know, told the referee that, hey, you got to look out for the low blow. We got to look out for the low blow because we know that these are the kind of games that some of the corner people play. And believe me, I got some low blow. I got a thumb in my eye. I'm not using that as an excuse, but Mike Mccollum is a tremendous boxer. This kid from Jamaica, okay, is a technician. I call him a technician, and technician against a bomber, a technician against a puncher. You know what I'm saying? And he was able to catch me some punches and really affected me. And he was the better man that night.
It's funny, you know, I felt like Terry Norris's punches to the person watching looked like they had more bang on them. And those, you know, when you handled him, who was the hardest puncher that you ever been in there with?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I don't know what, but Terry Norris, I didn't feel the power like that. You know, he's quick, you know, very fast. His speed can also be deceiving, make it look as if he is a really hard puncher, but he's really not. Okay. I remember I fought a guy by the name of Kudalix in Connecticut. After my fight with Mike Mccollum, he was a fight that I had to take if I was going to get the opportunity to fight in Quebec. And the winner of that fight would fight in Quebec in Las Vegas. And I went up there and, man, I knocked down in Quebec. I knocked down Kudalix from Connecticut. Boom. And I thought that was it. But he came back and he knocked me down.
Oh, shit.
Okay, he knocked me down, man. And we got up and he got up, survived. I got up, survived. Now, who is going to win this fight? And we were in the last round, and I knew that I had to pull out, you know, and I'm sure he had the same mentality. I'm sure the corners send him out to try to, you know, take this thing over. My corner did the same thing. And you know what? I went out there and I caught him, man, a right hand, left hook. And that was the end. He got knocked out.
Wow.
Okay. In the 10th round. And I had the opportunity again to fight for the junior middleweight championship of the world in Las Vegas.
Yeah,
you know, and in Quebec, not in Quebec, but Kudalix was a really tough fighter, man. He wanted that. He wanted to fight for that title. He wanted that title, and I felt that was one of my toughest fights.
Wow.
That
after that comeback,
you know, this month, August, is your anniversary month of your last fight.
Oh man, yeah. As a matter of fact, one of my coaches, one of my you know, the guys that work with me in the gym, you know, said, Julian, you know, your anniversary is coming up. I said, wow, you remembered, huh? Yeah. He remembered, man. And I said, wow,
August,
that's amazing.
1995. It's a long career. That's a long career.
It is.
Yeah.
61 fights
when I was about 12, 14 years old.
So why did you have so few amateur fights?
Because the Virgin Islands, there was not much boxing here in the Virgin Islands. We had to do a lot of traveling to Puerto Rico. Most of my fight was in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is by flight is only about what, 30 minutes.
Wow. I mean, I think even though most Americans have, you know, Jeremy had 300 amateur fights, I don't think it's that bad of a thing to get less amateur fights, because then you go into the pros, and tell me if I'm wrong, with a lot less mileage on you.
That's the truth. That's the truth.
Right.
And that's the truth. And it has a lot to do with your you know, your coach. You know, there's some coaches that can really improve you, and there's some coaches that can also destroy you. I'm just gonna be real, okay?
No, I get it. I think that because I've had so many amateur fights, like I came. And nothing can season you for a professional career. You just got to go through it. But like the nervousness, I learned how to control before the fight, because I'd had so many amateur fights. And then, you know, your first 10, 15 fights, you ain't fighting anybody anyways. You know what I mean? But you're learning. So for
learning,
me,
you're developing your craft. Yes.
So I mean, I think, but for somebody like you who's only had 30 amateur fights, if that, I mean, that would have scared me to death to fight like that, you know, to take the next step straight away like that. That said, you have 30 amateur fights. You have 61 professional fights.
Right.
You know that. So
my experience came really. I started to grow much more. I started to go to different levels as a professional. Amateur wise, you know, I had a lot of speed. I had a lot of, you know, courage, strength. You know what I'm saying? And I started to really home in on my power. And as an amateur, you know, and I became, I think, the champion here in the Virgin Islands. There was a guy here who was also from he wasn't born here in the Virgin Islands, but he came from St. Kitts, but he was in St. Croix. His name is Livingstone Bramble.
Yeah, we know.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
legend.
Livingstone Bramble. We fought 3 times as amateurs.
And what happened?
Wow!
And he listened to me. I fought him here in St. Thomas. I won. Went over to St. Croix. He beat me in St. Croix. Okay. Wow. Then we had a next fight again in St. Croix. And I beat him in St. Croix as well. So it was 2-1, but we never had the opportunity to get the 4th fight.
Wow, we'd like to get
Livingstone Bramble, man. I remember him when I was a kid. I'm sitting on my couch watching him fight, scared of him.
And he kept
that dude was a gangster.
Changing his name from Livingston to Razai. I didn't know which one.
Yeah, Razai Bramble. Yeah.
Yeah, he kept flipping his name around.
Serious, man. Look, I never forget. Man, it used to be so exciting. You know, Bramble made things so, I think, exciting because you know, he was a competitor. He was a challenger. He was in charge of his boys them in St. Croix.
Yeah.
So we had a little island thing going on. St. Thomas versus St. Croix.
Wow.
You know what I'm
Really?
saying?
That's,
And every time I go over there, he was the one that I would have to fight.
that's at what, 35?
We was down there about I would say 30, 35.
Well, we're talking
Yeah,
about
man.
weight, people who don't know what we're talking about. Like 135, 130. We imply the one. So just so that people know what we're talking about.
Right.
People don't understand. Like guys like I got a friend named Tim Austin who was I think he was a 12 pounder or 19 pounder.
Yeah.
Much hard as hell. Oh my God. I'm like, man, if you hit me again, I'm gonna punch you in the throat, you little bastard.
Yeah,
But
man.
I mean, but
look,
you see, like these guys, like these tall, thin, the guys that were shaped like you. I mean, they punch the hardest,
right.
because your kinetic, your kinetics are just working, man. And you are one of the hardest punchers ever
in history? Yeah. Well,
right.
absolutely. Was there anybody that you sparred, not fought, but sparred, like somebody with a name that you sparred that you could tell us a story about, something that stands out?
Well, Don King, I tell you what, we used to train in OL, Ohio.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Mike Tyson was used to be there. Tim Witherspoon, a lot of the champions that Don King had, and there was a guy by the name, if I remember his name fully, he was a very tough kid. Oh boy, I fought him as well. He was my spar mate, but I ended up fighting him in Mexico.
Okay.
I can't bring his name right now, but listen, let me share this with you guys. He was a southpaw, and man, he came into camp. You know what I'm saying? Because one of my coaches or one of my people that work in my corner, we bring in a lot of fighters that were class fighters, and this guy had a lot of class. This guy could have boxed. He had a tremendous amateur resume, and man, he was solid, boy. And I had to really step up my game when I was going to fight him, when I was going to spar with him. Okay. And we started sparring, man, and oh man, it was a war. Used to be war. Every time me and he spar, it was war. Wow. And he became one of my chief spar mates back at that time. And I think his coaches decided that, you know what, we're not going to spar anymore because we think he can beat you, Julian. Oh. And they got Dan King give them the opportunity.
Didn't work out for him.
Great. Sparring is one thing, but when you're in the ring, it's the next, man.
Yeah, it's the next level.
You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't realize that. A lot of fighters think because, man, they get off punches and his slick style and his southpaw stand, he would have been able to. Well, we fought in Mexico in the Azteca Stadium.
Well, can you break down the difference between what you're saying? There's a difference. What's the difference in the mentality between a sparring and a fight?
Yes, one of the I think the difference is that that you have on bigger gloves, you have on headgear, you have on and your game is to really develop certain styles, and you want to be able to commit to certain punches. My corner will tell me to do certain things with different fighters. We all have different spar mates, and he was one of the last guys that they would put because he was the best, and they wanted me to really time, my timing, what I'm saying, my range, what I'm saying, and getting off my punches. And because I was doing that, working on that, and he felt that, he could have beat me because I wasn't giving him everything that I had. You know what I'm saying? I was working on different moves that my coaches wanted me to work on with him. And being that he was such a tremendous athlete, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sometimes I go about close to 12 to 15 rounds.
Sparring.
Okay,
Really?
sparring, man.
Wow.
And we use him. We use him as the last man. So I have to pick up my game with him. You see,
Wow.
the difference is he's gonna be in there with me fresh.
Yeah.
He's not gonna come in.
So is it?
He's not gonna come in. Okay. When after
10, 12 into
after I did at least 12 rounds before, you know what I'm saying? And then he comes in,
Yeah.
I'm tired, and you know, and that's the difference.
Right.
You know, so when I meet him in the ring and we are going to actually start to fight, we're gonna actually have a competition. It's gonna be a total different thing
Sure.
from sparring.
Sparring is
And
like
believe me, it
practice.
was. And he realized that, and he said, "Man, wow, I'll never forget it." You know, you know, training in Mexico is a whole different story as well because the altitude, man.
Mm.
Mexico City, yes, it's very high.
You gotta get climatized, man.
Wow.
And I realized that, you know, I went up there at least 3 weeks before in advance, so just that I could get climatized.
Wow.
But they wanted to beat it, and they felt that if they came in a couple of days, they will be able to beat the you know, the climate or the you know, altitude thing. But I knew it would have been a big problem, man.
Wow.
And you know, hey, we went at it, and man, after the second round,
That was it.
wow, it was like slow motion.
Wow.
And he just couldn't understand what was going on. You know what I'm saying?
I'll
And
bet.
breathe.
Couldn't understand what was going. The altitude, look, that altitude is not easy, babe. That's why a lot of fighters
Oh, it's
love
not.
to go to Big Bear now.
Yeah.
So
I completely understand.
Yeah.
What about who in your career was, and it could maybe not a championship fight or just somebody who really tested your skills. It could have been in your first 10, it could have been your last 40, like whatever. Like who really tested you?
I'll tell you who it is. Tate.
Frank Tate?
Frank Tate.
Oh.
Really?
We fought in Las Vegas. We went 10 rounds. Man, that dude was slick. That dude was a good boxer. And man, look, and I think that Frank Tate was actually one of the guy that I fought in Mexico, one of my spar mates, the spar mate that I fought in Mexico, Frank Tate, he was actually one of the stable mates.
Really?
Okay. And they worked in the same gym. They had the same coach. And Frank Tate was a boxer, man. Oh my goodness. And I tell you what, we went 10 rounds, and look, I had to box, man. That's one of the first time I've really showed my boxing skill, my leg work. A lot of people looking for my power, and I eventually caught him some good punches. Mills Lane was the no, not Mills Lane. No, not Mills Lane. The guy from Vegas, I think, had a controversial thing with
Richard Steele?
Richard Steele, yeah.
Yes, Richard Steele.
Black guy.
Yes, Richard Steele. And I remember, man, and I was in there, boom, 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 working, and I caught what's his name, a good punch, and he took a knee.
Oh.
He took a knee in the 10th round, the last round, and he got
time out.
Yeah.
People, I'm gonna let people know. Look, if a guy takes a knee, it's either you hurt him or you pissed him off.
Right.
So what happened?
I heard him. I caught him a left hook, and he took a knee. Okay. I went back. I went to my neutral corner, and my coach is telling me, "Get him!" You know, and I went after him. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
But guess what?
Yeah.
Man, Frank.
No, he wasn't ready.
No, man. He caught me a good punch. After that, you know, hurt me a little bit. I got my composure back, and I went after him again. Bam, bam, and look, it was a tremendous fight.
I'm gonna go back and look at that one.
Yeah, you gotta look at that fight.
Now that I got the inside, I'm gonna go back and watch that.
Yeah.
But I remember Richard Steele, the black guy from Vegas, the referee. he told Frank Tate, okay, this is what I heard him telling Frank Tate, keep your hands up and move.
Wow. That's funny.
I remember a referee one time.
I couldn't believe it.
I mean,
I could not believe
I had
it.
this. I had the same thing.
He's
I
coaching
forget.
my opponent. I mean, my opponent.
Yeah, he can't do
I had
that.
the same thing. One time, I hit somebody, and I broke my left hand, so I hit him with the right hand. I slipped under a punch, and the referee, and like I'm headed for high water all the way to the other side of the ring.
Yeah,
because I'm trying to kill time, and the referee said, "You got him." And then I looked around.
That's
oh my goodness. Yeah. That's crazy.
Wow.
I don't know who it was.
Right?
But I know. I don't remember who. Hey, it helped me out because my hand was broken.
It didn't help
tired.
Julian, though. Telling the other guy to put your hands up and move. What kind of shit is that?
Right. He told me, he's like, I remember he said, "You got him," and I was like,
"Whoa!" That happened to me. That happened to me with Intubeck. I think it was Mills Lane. The Mills Lane was the one that was refereeing that fight, and I remember I caught Intubeck a left hook. All I heard the referee say, "Good shot."
You said.
I was like, "What?" I was shocked. I heard the referee say, "Good shot," and man, it was just crazy. It's amazing what we experience in a lot of our fights, man. I'm sure there are a lot of guys out there, that have experienced a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying? And just like Muhammad Ali. I mean, not Muhammad Ali, but Mike Tyson, and who was it? Holyfield, when this guy came in with a parachute.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
That was nuts. That was
crazy, man.
There was a lot of crazy. So let me ask you this: was there anybody from your era that you, besides Sugar Ray, that you really wanted to fight but you never got a chance to? Like, who was on the hit list?
I wanted to fight Mugabe.
Really?
Yeah, I wanted to fight Mugabe.
That guy was a maniac.
But all these names you're saying, they scare me because these were guys I seen when I was a kid, and I'm like, God, John the Beast Mugabe, my God, that's the scariest name ever. I mean, like, but Mugabe, I'm like, dude.
I wanted to fight. I also wanted to fight. What's his name? I wanted to fight Michael Nunn. I didn't get to fight Michael. I went in his backyard. And all.
What about
Michael Nunn would be a headache.
Roy Jones. I had the opportunity to fight Roy Jones,
but
his father pulled out.
What? Why?
I guess he said, "Man, Julian hits too hard."
Well, also, you probably would have been fighting.
Also, it's not time.
Right. I was going to say, also early in Roy's career.
Yeah, Roy Jones was really green at that time too.
Wow.
Yeah, it wouldn't be. I mean, that because you would have dumped Roy. I mean, he would have done all the fancy this and that.
Right.
But he wouldn't have learned nothing. And for you, it's just another fight. For him, you got to educate the fighter, and that probably wouldn't have
exactly, man. That's the truth. I also wanted the opportunity. There was a kid, Dan King, had this guy, man. He was from, I think he was from down under. That kid that
did he die already?
Mayweather fought this European guy from, not European, but he was from down under, from
Mayweather fought
Australia.
Australia.
You're talking about Roger Mayweather, somebody like that.
Roger Mayweather. I mean, no, not Roger Mayweather, but Mayweather fought this guy and knocked him out with a left hook.
Hatton,
right? This guy,
he's from England.
This kid was from Hatton's country.
That's England.
Yeah, it's England.
Yeah, Hatton.
Ricky Hatton's from England.
So what about like Chavez? You never had any interest?
Which Chavez?
Julio Cesar.
No, Julio Cesar Chavez. We were with Dan King. I fought a lot on his undercards, but we were never his weight class.
Mm-hmm.
was really he was a lightweight, right?
Lighter, yeah.
He was like 35, right?
Yeah,
He was
Right.
like
He ended
30
he
or
was a
30.
lightweight.
He ended up fighting at
Yeah.
47, but you had already moved up. So, how do you think you would fare? Like, how would you have done against the generation after you? Like, for example, how do you think you would have fared in Mayweather, De La Hoya, that era, Mosley?
Oh man,
Ivan
I felt,
Robinson.
not only that, but guys like Triple G. I worked. Julius was actually one of Triple G's spar
He
mates.
told us. Yeah.
Cheap spar mate, yeah.
Yeah.
And we went up there, and his coach, what's his name again? His coach, Triple G's coach.
I forget who
I
trained
know.
him. I forget who trains him.
Anyway, his coach actually was training Terry Norris.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was
Abel
training
Sanchez?
Abel Sanchez. There you
Abel
go.
Sanchez.
Abel Sanchez was training Terry Norris, but we had the opportunity, and they loved Julius. Julius, oh man, was really good at using his range and punches. Blah, blah, blah. And I remember, after a fight, his Abel said, "Julian, man, wow, you know what? This kid, Triple G, reminds me a lot of you sometimes."
Yeah.
Oh,
I said, yeah, because man, he hits. And when he hits, oh my goodness,
he cracked.
he puts everything into his punches.
But Julius,
He puts
Julius
his body into the punch.
Julius said that he was the only guy to last, take it all, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah. You know what? One time Julius caught him an uppercut. Okay, and when I say a tremendous uppercut, and literally had to stop. Could not believe what was happening, and he didn't know what happened. Really, it was like a flash. Beautiful uppercut, and Abel stopped the fight. The sparring until Sanchez got himself together again. I mean, not Sanchez, but Triple G got himself together again. And I said, "Whoa, man! For Julius to do something like that, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
It was amazing, and ever since then. But I always thought that I know it would have been, oh man, epic if me and this kid was able to have, a fight. If he was in my weight class back in my time.
Triple G. Wow.
That'd be good. That'd be good.
It'd have been war. It'd have been war, man.
That would have been. And what about Hagler?
Oh, Marvin Hagler.
Exact question.
Are you gonna ask that?
I never really got. I didn't have that. I don't know. I'm mostly Sugar Ray. I don't think Hearns wanted anything. As a matter of fact, it was said that Hearns, what's his name? The guy that does the celebrity boxing.
Who?
The young kid, man, that just retired now.
Oh, Zab
Judah.
Judah?
Yeah, Zab Judah said to Tommy Hearns, "Man, why don't you fight Julian Jackson?" He wanted to fight. He wanted to fight Sugar Ray Leonard, and then on this was on the media, and Tommy Hearns said the heart. Let me see the heart.
Yeah.
The heart. He started thinking and said, "You know what? I'll fight the Hawk. Bring him, man, anytime." Judah said, "Julian, I don't think that's gonna happen."
Do you think that your generation was a tougher breed of fighters than today's?
Yes, I think our generation was more into the game, and the love of the game was what we really desired more than anything else. We wanted to go out there and prove, that, hey, we are the best. I wouldn't say that money wasn't involved, but money wasn't really all that we wanted. We just wanted to go out there and show the world that, you know what, I came from nowhere. I came from nothing, but here I am now, and I can be somebody. I can make it. And I think that's what boxing was about back then to me, because I know where I came from, and here it is. I'm able to sit with governors. I'm able to talk to presidents. I'm able to visit.
Wow.
And it's just amazing, what boxing did, and the love of the sport, was something that I believe that we held dearly. Some, took it lightly, and it worked against them. But those that really cherish the sport of boxing, I think, had a good long career, had a good career.
I was telling your son that if you fought in the age of social media, you would have been so huge, because the way you fought was super exciting.
Yeah. That's
what
true.
I mean. And I don't know if I'm sure you feel this, but you're one of the few fighters that people literally, because of your punching power. I mean, you're one of the few fighters that are almost legendary status, and almost like a god, almost like a superhero. You know what I mean? When people talk about the Hawk.
Amazing, man. Amazing. As a youngster, as a young boy growing up, I loved superheroes. And I was addicted to drawing. I used to draw superheroes. And my teacher, I was in fifth, sixth grade. And I love to draw. I still do draw. I still draw. But I was a fanatic. And I carried around this pad with all my work. And my teacher saw it, and she said, "Man, this is good. You know what? I'm gonna put you in a contest." And I went into the contest, and I came second. Okay, I came second, and guess what? I did not realize that I would have gotten involved. This is way before I even got into boxing. I was actually, in a sense, drawing my destiny. I was, in a sense, I think, getting in touch with something I didn't know, because boxing is almost like a superhero type, job. You got to put on your uniform. You know what I'm saying? So after you done work out, you got to go into the ring, and you got to go there, and you got to show your stuff.
But somebody like you, it's different. Like, I'm sure, and you wouldn't say this in front of other fighters, but when you're standing next to another fighter who didn't have the kind of power you did, there's just a different energy and respect that you get. And that's must be so amazing.
Right. And it's just amazing that, I was able now to, realize that, wow, you know what? I didn't realize maybe I was really, making maybe a little connection to the destiny that God had for me. And here it is. Now, I got the opportunity to fight and to, become something to the community. You know what? A hero is not known for what he does for himself, but what he does for others.
He does for other people.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, that's absolutely true. Look, man, we really appreciate you talking to us. We're going to be in St. Thomas for Jeremy's fight. So we'd love
awesome, man. Hey, I'm looking forward to see you, Jeremy.
We want you to come, man. I'm going to be in his corner.
You better believe it. I'll be there, man.
I'm going to be in his corner.
No, all three of us will be there.
Yep.
Man,
all three of us, man. It's going to be a great time. I'm gonna have a lot of fun, and we're gonna check you out there. We'll do an interview with you as well there.
For sure.
Thank you for your time. You've been most gracious and kind, and God loves you. We love you, and don't forget our sport, man. God bless you.
One love, man.
Thanks
God bless you, brother.
Peace.
I appreciate you guys. One love.
Take care.